Hello everybody, welcome to videos. My name's Jamie from Monster Games. Today we're doing an unboxing video. Not really much an unboxing this time, more of an unpacking. It's a very small item, but something I've wanted to get. But anyway, I do like the Master System. I'm a big fan of the Master System, but I'm always going to be a Commodore man. Always have been, always will be. But I do like the Master System. I had a lot of experience with the Master System around friends' houses, but I didn't own one back then. However, King Arthur, about 3 or 4 years ago, bought me a Master System and donated it to the channel, which was a really nice thing for you to do. It really meant a lot to me. And he also donated the Ninja, which is one of my favourite games on the Master System, and this is mint. Now it also does have Sonic the Hedgehog already built in, but since then I bought myself 8 more games. One thing I'm learning in the course of time is, bear in mind I'm a quite picky person, I like to buy them in mint condition. If you're going to do that, they're quite expensive. But I would like to do some more videos on the Master System. I want to do some streams on the Master System, and so many people have requested it, and the trouble is, I keep saying to them that yes, I will do it, but I want to try and get some more games first. But they're proving to be very expensive. I've got to try and figure out another way of getting around it for the time being. So I looked on eBay and managed to find the item. Anyway, I do own a Mega Drive, but I've always preferred the Master System. Now I do own some games for the Mega Drive, not as many as the Master System, but I did buy this about 3 or 4 years ago. This is an Everdrive, which comes pre-installed with a lot of games. How many on there, I cannot remember. But it's got an SD card, which is a SanDisk Edge 8GB, and that goes in the top there. And again, it's pre-installed with games. And it works really well, but I've only used it a few times. But I want to try and see if there was a way of buying something like this for the Master System. I don't know why it's taking me so long to realise, but of course there is. So I went to eBay, and that's where I found this bad boy. And this is called a 600-in-1 cartridge. And I messaged the seller before I clicked the purchase button, are these games pre-installed, or have you got to put them on there yourself? And he said they're already on there. That's good enough for me. I bought it. So it cost me about £45 plus your usual post and packing. Right. And it only took about 2 days to arrive, so I was really impressed. In fact, I've already given them positive feedback. But yes, it has 600 games already installed, which is fantastic. There we go. So there we go. It is actually called a Master System, a mega cartridge for use for the Master System only, also known as a 600-in-1 cartridge. Caution, avoid exposing cartridge to extreme temperatures and keep away from water. For protection, when cartridge is not in use, please use cartridge inside a protective plastic case. I'm assuming it's that. Now on the back here we've got one screw there and one screw there. Now some channels like to take anything apart. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I just want to see if it works. But on the top here we've got our card, which this time is actually a micro SD card, which is also 8GB. So, 600 games are already pre-installed on this cartridge. I'm going to set up my Master System now, and whether I can use it with the OSSC, I'm not sure. But I'm going to set it up now and try a few games out. It's not going to be a long video this one, but I'm really interested to see if it works. Okay, fired up immediately, no hesitation. As a bonus, I'm actually using the OSSC. I didn't think the OSSC was going to work with the Master System, but it fired up immediately. Also, I'm using my control stick, which I've said many times in the past, I'm not a fan of control pads. But also, on backup, if I need it, I do have my multi joystick here as well. But yeah, I'm not a fan of controllers. Right, we've got ROMs A to Z. We've got Japan, Brazil, and USA. So, we press the 1 button to activate. Okay, so we've got page 1 of 29. So we've got Adam's Family, which I've never played on the Master System before. We've got Aladdin, we've got Alex Kidd, Alien 3. Now you press right to go down a page and left to go up a page. We've got Altered Beast, which I've never played on the Master System. There's been so many here I've never even played, never even seen before. Now I do own some physical versions, but of course I'm not going to stop buying physical versions, but this will definitely help. So we've got Batman Returns, again, never seen it on the Master System before. So I'm just going to pick one at random. Chuck Rock. I've never seen Chuck Rock on the Master System before. So we go down to it and you press 1, I'm assuming. So we've got load and start, load only, or hex view. We'll go for load and start. Do not turn off the system. Core Design Limited presents a conversion by Gary Priest, licensed to Sega Enterprises. This is Chuck Rock, playing it for the absolute first time on the Master System. Now it does sound incredibly quiet on my headphones. I don't know how loud it's coming out for this video. Okay, so the game is Chuck Rock, a 901 slapstick cyclone platform video game, developed and published by Core Design for the Amiga and Atari ST computers. The Commodore 64 port followed in 1992, and the CD32 version in 1994. The game was subsequently published by Chrysler Software for the Acorn Archimedes. Virgin Interactive published the game for the Sega Mega Drive Genesis, the Master System, as well as the Game Gear. Sony ImageSoft published a game for the Sega Mega CD, the SNES, as well as the Game Boy. And I have to admit, it's a really, really good game. I'm really impressed. But what is difficult for me is because I've played this game to absolute death on the Amiga, I've kind of got used to using one button. But now I'm using one button for jump and one for attacks. Now you can attack using your belly flop or your flying kick. And of course, judging by his name, you can throw rocks. Now whether it be a big rock or a small rock, you can use it as many times as you like, but you can also use it in the water or swamp to get you across difficult areas. But you can also throw rocks even in the water and throw them in the air. Now your energy is your heart. We can replenish your heart over the course of the game by picking up in the game. But I've also noticed a few differences, including this. Now in the Amiga version, that's the only version I can be hearing it to, so I played it the most. Here it'll be a dinosaur that takes you from A to B. Not here, we've got some slime, I expect. I assume it's slime. So anyway, really good. We've got 2 lives and we have a full heart of energy. But there we go, end of level, superb. I like it, I like it. There we go, classic, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Now I've just recently bought this as a remake on the Xbox One. Okay, so the game is Alex Kidd in Miracle World, a 2D platform game. The player must finish levels and overcome puzzles and obstacles in both a scrolling and a single screen environment. Throughout the 17 stages, Alex Kidd must face monsters and the 3 henchmen of Yankin the Great before facing Yankin himself. Alex Kidd's punching ability is used to destroy enemies and break rocks in order to gain new areas and pick up money used in the shop to buy items and vehicles, including the helicopter and the motorbike. Now also, if you've got it, press the pause button and you can use the ring. There we go, we have it. Now we can shoot fireballs. At the end of the stages, Alex Kidd plays Yankon Pow, also known as Paper Rock Scissors, with one of Yankin's henchmen. Alex Kidd dies with 1 hit or by losing in a game of paper, scissors and stone. I believe this fireball is limited. Of course, this game was also built in with some Master Systems, which is the first time I played it because one of my friends also had it. And it's brilliant, really good, but it's difficult though. But of course, it has had a recent remake, which I bought on the Xbox One, which again is brilliant. Now, this is limited, but also if you die, you lose all abilities you have got, including the fireball. And you can also swim, and there's an oxygen bar is no issue underwater. But you can also punch underwater. But this is, again, a very short and sweet level, but the game is incredibly challenging indeed. Now, some things can harm you, and some things will stun you. But anyway, some items need more than 1 punch. But it's got a superpower punch you can break blocks with, but of course, avoid anything that moves. Some items, enemies, take more than 1 hit, including quite a big massive fish. Anyway, break the rock. And we eat whatever that is, and that ends the level. There you go, superb, another superb game. Okay, classic, Fantasy Zone. This is a game I'd like to own as a physical version, but I don't have it yet. But in the meantime, we can play it here. Right, Sega Mark III. There we go, superb game. This is Fantasy Zone. Press 1 to play. Okay, so the game is Fantasy Zone, a 1986 arcade game by Sega, the first game in the Fantasy Zone series. It was later ported to a wide variety of consoles, including the Master System. The player controls a sentient spaceship named Oopa Oopa, who fights an enemy invasion in a titular group of planets. The game contains a number of features typical of the traditional scrolling shooter. The main character, the Oopa Oopa, is sometimes referred to as Sega's first mascot character. And what a game! I absolutely love it. I played it a long time ago, but I don't own a box version of my collection, but I have got it on the PC Engine. And I've also got a remake on the PlayStation 2, which is great as well, but you cannot beat the original. The original was so much better. Now, at the moment of time, we do have basic weapons, but you can also buy items in the shop by picking up coins, which you get from defeating enemies. But of course, everything costs a very high price in this game, but I believe you can use them once. But anyway, you'll kill all the enemies on the area, which summons the boss. But again, we haven't bought any additional items yet, so we're going for the basics here. Now, if you press the second button, you actually fire a bomb, which is better for shooting the enemies below you. It's not going to be very good here, but anyway, avoid his attacks. A good way to get additional money. There we go. Superb. What a game. Love it. Okay, so if you're like me, you like to revisit while playing these difficult games, of course, mistakes are going to happen, and me being me, you have to restart. However, there's a good way of doing it. If you turn the Master System off and turn it back on again, of course, you're going to see this problem because I'm capturing it on my OSSC. Then it brings up a menu. Now, what you do here, you then press button 2, which brings up this menu. Then press button 1, and what it does is it actually loads up the last game you played. So that's a much better way of doing it. If you're me, you keep making mistakes. So there we go. I like that. I've never seen Pac-Mania on the Master System before. Fire up. Load and start. There we go, playing this for the absolute first time. There you go, Tech Magic. Pac-Mania, there we go, 901 Tengen Incorporated, all rights reserved. Okay, so the game is Pac-Mania, an isometric maze game that was developed and published by Namco in arcades in 1987. In the game, the player controls Pac-Man as he eats all the dots while avoiding ghosts that chase you around the maze. Eating large, flashing power pellets will allow Pac-Man to eat the ghosts for bonus points, which will last for a short period of time. A new feature in this game allows Pac-Man to jump over ghosts without being captured. It's the 9th game in the Pac-Man video game series, and was the last one developed for arcades up until the release of Pac-Man Arrangement in 1996. The development was directed by Pac-Man creator Toru Watani. It was licensed to Atari Games for the release in North America. And it's a classic, absolutely superb game. Of course, this game, all you need is one single button, so I could tactically play this with just a zip stick. But anyway, all you need is one button to jump. Of course, you get power pellets, and some of them have different colours, but they all do the same thing pretty much. They allow you to eat ghosts, but only when they're blue. Once you eat the ghost, you earn additional score. The more you eat during that time, you earn additional score. But when a ghost is eaten, they go to their home square. And when they go back to the home square, they return to normal form. And of course, ghosts can affect you in different ways. Some of them are faster than others, and also they can also change direction just as much as you can. So yes, you can jump over them, but they can also change direction when you're in the mid-air. So you can actually result in landing on top of a ghost's head. And that is an instant kill. But anyway, I don't know how many we've got left. We've got 2 lives. But there we go. Round clear. Good job. Let's try the next round. There we go. Another superb game on the Master System. Mortal Kombat 3 on the Master System. I have never seen this before. Must check this out. Load and start. Yes. Do not turn off your system. Didn't realise Mortal Kombat 3 was on the Master System. Surely it hasn't got all the fighters. Surely not. It's going to be reduced, isn't it? Williams Entertainment Incorporated. Software Creations. Mortal Kombat 3. Blimey. Okay, so in this version, as expected, we've got less characters. We've got 8. We've got Sindel, Sector, Cabal, Shiva, Sub-Zero, Kano, Sonya, and Cyrax. So we're going to be Sub-Zero. There we go. Battle 1, Sub-Zero versus Kano. Okay, so the game is Mortal Kombat 3 on the Master System. I had no idea it was on the Master System. However, I'm not surprised that some characters are missing. That would have been extreme, I think. But anyway, at its early start, it's proving to be quite difficult to perform moves. Special moves are proving to be difficult here. So I am Sub-Zero on the left, Kano is Computer on the right. Now, I'm sure I have played Mortal Kombat on the Master System. I'm sure my friend Daniel had it on his Master System back in the older days. But that, I don't recall if it had blood or not. However, this does. Not loads of it, but it's there. But anyway, first win to me, which is Sub-Zero. 2 wins the battle. Down forward fire to do a freeze, but it's proving to be quite difficult. Even an uppercut is quite difficult to perform. Quite a big delay until you actually perform it. But this is the pick fatality era, so I'm assuming you can knock them off the edge, but I don't know how you're going to do that. I'm going to try doing an uppercut. But I'm not going to do any fatalities, I don't know how to perform them. I just found out there was actually a version on the Master System. But yeah, I'm very surprised there's the running ability. But I have to admit, I wasn't a fan of that. Now, I did a long play on the PlayStation 1. I completed it with every single character. It was one of the most difficult long plays I've ever done. But I did it. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the running ability. But anyway, is it going to work? Well, he got knocked into the air. We didn't go off the edge. But there we go. We'll go with that. Sub-Zero wins. There you go. Mortal Kombat 3 on the Master System. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Let's go to Brazil and see what that's got in store. Right, a bolt. Press that. What we got? Bonkers Wax Up. We've got Chuck Rock 2. From Jim. FIFA International Soccer. Fire and Ice. Check out Fire and Ice. Didn't know that was on the Master System either. Okay, load and start. Is it the same Fire and Ice or is it completely utterly different Fire and Ice? I'm not sure. Find out soon enough. But again, if it is the Cool Coyote, I had no idea it was on the Master System. There you go! Virgin Games. Graph Gold Creative Software. Fire and Ice, licensed by Sega Enterprises, published by Virgin Games. Okay, so the game is Fire and Ice, The Daring Adventures of the Cool Coyotes, a platform game created by Graph Gold for Amiga and Atari ST, released in 1992 by Renegade. Master System and Game Gear versions were developed by Graph Gold for Virgin Games. CD32 version was enhanced to include detailed background scenery, 256 on-screen colours, and several layers of parallax. And again, I'm really impressed. But again, it's taking some getting used to. Again, a bit like Chuck Rock, because I played this game to absolute death with one button. Now I've got to try and adapt to 2 buttons, so 1 button for jump and 1 button for firing. But again, the same rule applies. We'll try and get all parts of the key, but this time not by killing enemies. Or should we say sometimes enemies, sometimes it's picking up boxes. So again, a little bit different, but again, I'm really impressed by it. Now, it's like I say, it's things I'm getting used to. I'm not used to using 2 buttons, but on this game, you actually select what button you want to do what. So I'm using button 2 for jump and button 1 for firing, but when you freeze into the spot, they stay frozen a little bit longer. But anyway, falling in the water is an instant kill, but also I haven't seen the puppy yet. But there we go, there's ability there and a piece of key there. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of key, but not enough to open the door. So when you've got all the key, you can open the door to move on to the next level. But does it have the puppy? I have no idea. Haven't found the door yet either. But yes, it stays frozen for quite a long period of time. And also the bullets are very large as well. So again, a really, really cool game. I like it. Music's fairly good as well. Right, 1 more to find. The door can't be too far away. There we go. Superb. There's the door. No puppy though. There we go. Really impressed with that. There we go. I've played it to absolute death on the CC4 and also played it on the Game Gear, but I've never played it on the Master System before. But this is Wonder Boy. Okay, this is Wonder Boy, playing for the absolute first time on the Master System. I have played it on the CC4 the most, and I have played it on the Game Gear. I have to admit, this looks pretty good. I'm really impressed. But again, it's difficult trying to adapt to 2 buttons. I played it to absolute death on the CC4, and trying to now adapt to 2 buttons is proving to be quite difficult for me. It's something I'm really, really struggling to adapt to, but if you're going to play on the Master System, you're going to have to try and adapt to it. But I have to admit, I do prefer joysticks. Always have done, always will be. Even though I actually am using one, it's got 2 buttons. I've never seen that before. Huh. I've never seen that. Okay. Pick up the handbag, and your girlfriend arrives on the scene, and then takes you away. Wow. Okay, we continue on. Now, of course, you can get the axe in this game, which you do lose when you die, but normally you get it back very quickly. But enemies arrive all over the place, and of course we have the vitality bar, which is draining all the time. You replace that by picking up fruit along the way. But yes, the sprint is very, very crucial in this game, and this will actually protect you from everything. So there goes, run into the enemies, and they explode. Now again, we have boss battles, but does it appear after level 3 or level 4? I don't know. But at the moment of time, energy's alright. But yeah, you're sprinting like Mario Brothers. It does it really well, but again, it's difficult with 2 buttons. There we go, reach the goal. That's a very long level, if that was the first level. Round bonus and doll bonus. Any remaining vitality is then converted into points. Again, a really good game. Okay, my least favourite area in these games. But anyway, one thing I don't do in this area is I don't tend to go for the skateboard. Now, if you do get the skateboard, that does work as an additional hit. The trouble is, you're constantly moving. They can slow yourself down, but you do not come to a complete stop. So if it's surrounded by water, that can be a bit of an issue. But again, it really does look good. And the clouds are actually a lot bigger on this one. So there's a lot more to land on. Now, when you reach a signpost, that's actually a checkpoint. But again, just watch that vitality bar. This is really, really good. I'm really impressed. Just wish it was on 1 button. That'd be brilliant. But anyway, enemies are there, always there. But again, they don't seem to be as often on this one. Of course, platforms do drop beneath you, so watch out for that. Kill the natives. Again, keep pressing the 1 button. Right, what is that? Right, we're invincible. Go for it. Just run for it. But when you die, you do lose your axe. And it's really difficult until you get it back. You're trying to avoid everything. Oh, my lord, gee whiz. Right, go. Jamie, take it easy. Don't rush. Don't rush. No. Yes. No. The doll will actually double your points, if I remember rightly. Jamie. I don't know what one's going to fall. There you go. Brilliant. We're going in the cave. What a really good version. That is brilliant. One thing I'm struggling with this video is whatever game I seem to be playing, it seems to be different controls. I like jump button to be the same for all games. You might play one game and 1 is jump, and another game 2 is jump. But yes, it's really proven to be quite difficult to adapt to. But anyway, we have the skateboard, so we can continuously go. It works as this will hit. Now, every time you hit a rock, that doesn't actually kill you, it just stuns you, which also drains your energy bar. But you've got to watch out for the snakes. The snakes are the worst. They just pop their head out of the ground. And they can pop out of anywhere. Okay. What's that? Right, so that makes it junk food. Junk food is worth more. It certainly is on the C64 version anyway. What's that? Right, death on my mind. That drains your energy even quicker, so we'll get moving. This is a really good version. I'm really impressed with this. This is superb. Still got death on my mind. Draining my energy everywhere I go. Right, now we have no skateboard. There we go. Round clear. Dull bonus. I don't think I got it that time. Or did I? I don't know. I don't think I did. Right, unfortunately I died, but I continue at signpost 3. But the trouble is now I've lost my weapon. And this game is not easy with no weapon. But I've got to go with it. We'll go without it, if you say, in this case. Avoid the spiders. The items are found usually inside eggs. Who's that guy? Now, normally, if you get to the boss without the weapon should be given to you at that point. Normally it is. And normally it replenishes your health. Again, normally. There you go, we have the axe. Right, okay, boss battle. This is interesting because he's got a head that doesn't normally appear at this point of the game. Again, I keep pressing one button. Shoot the head and the head pops off. There we go. What is it this time? I don't know. Didn't collect anything that time. There we go. A completely different game. Normally, the head pops off and you collect an item. An item that belongs to your girlfriend. But there was nothing. There we got the dough bonus though. What a game! That is fantastic! That is brilliant! There you go, next on the list, a bit of Enduro Racer. Now I did try playing this on a live stream, but unfortunately I had problems with my computer. But anyway, let's give it a try now. Copyright 1987 by Sega. Okay, so the game is Enduro Racer, an arcade racing game from Sega. It was released in 1986 with 2 arcade cabinet versions, a stand-up cabinet with handlebars and a full-size dirt bike cabinet. It's often seen as a dirt bike racing version of Hang On, as it uses similar engine and PCB. It was later released for Master System in 1987, ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64 in 1988, and Amstrad CPC and Atari ST in 1989. And it's a brilliant game. As you can see, at the moment of time, we're fairly safe here. The player rides a dirt bike through 7 stages and have elevation changes and turns, and must avoid other riders as well as logs and boulders. Controls of the game are based on the motorcycle's handlebars, with a throttle and brake control. Players can pull up on the handlebars on the cabinet to perform a wheelie. Jumping over logs is also possible, but players have to land with the wheelie technique or risk crashing. Which is not a good thing when you're playing a game with time limits. Now, when you're playing the game, any riders you overtake will earn you a single point. Now, use these points to earn yourself additional money to purchase more things for your bike. Anything from tyres to a new engine. There you go, with 6 seconds remaining. So there we go, we passed 8 riders, we get 8 points. But again, it is brilliant, I love it. Brilliant game. There we go, next on the list, why not? A little bit of Ren and Stimpy. I love Ren and Stimpy, but this is the quest for the shaved yak, starring Ren and Stimpy. Okay, so the game is Ren and Stimpy, the quest for the shaven yak, one of the 7 games based directly on the television series between 1902 and 1905. The others Ren and Stimpy Show, Space Cadet Adventures, Ren and Stimpy Show Adventures, Ren and Stimpy Show Stimpy's Inventions, Ren and Stimpy Show Buckaroo, Ren and Stimpy Show Fire Dogs, and Ren and Stimpy Show Time Warp. But this is Ren and Stimpy, the quest for the shaven yak. When Stimpy finds a pair of hooves, Ren tells Stimpy that the shaven yak must have left them there the last yak shaving day. So Ren and Stimpy set off on an adventure to find the shaven yak. The quest for the shaven yak is a 2D platform game and was one of the most successful Game Gear titles of that year. The player could choose to play as either Ren or Stimpy, facing a variety of obstacles in the classic platforming environment. As one player only. They start the game off with basic firepower, but like the cartoon, also pick up items based on the cartoon, including Power Toast. Now I love Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy was really good, and yes, we recorded them on VHS and watched them over and over again. Not seen all of them, but we have seen most of them, but Ren and Stimpy cannot go wrong with that. Now the Power Toast and all the other additional weapons you pick up in this game are limited. Now the Power Toast is okay, But it does go around in circular motions, which can be a bit difficult because it sometimes goes round the enemy you're trying to shoot. But it is actually limited. You can actually fire multiple at once, but your energy is at the top left. And you can actually extend that multiple times by picking up a TV screen. And lots of them are scattered around over the course of the level. Every time you pick one up, it will extend it a little bit more. There's also items in the game which will make your character invincible, but only for a short period of time. But falling to the bottomless pit is going to end all that. But 9 times out of 10 they do. But anyway, no time limit I don't think there is. If it is a time limit, it's not present on the screen. And that actually makes you invincible. But anyway, it's a really, really good game. I'm really impressed with it. I love the graphics, I love the sprites. It's superb, really, really good. And also have to get a log from Blammo. So yeah, a lot of things from the cartoon are going to feature here. But again, not an overly long level. So avoid this guy and avoid his attacks. Now that one will do it once. This one will do it twice. There you go. And next one does it 3 times. That should be the end of the level. But again, a really, really good game. It's performing really, really well. It's superb. Another really, really good game on the Master System. Well done, Stimpy. Superb. Look at him dance. Happy, happy, joy, joy. There we go, a bit of James Bond 2, codename Robocop. Copyright US Gold Limited this time. Now, I had no idea, once again, this was on the Master System, but so far, so good. Licensed by Sega Enterprises Limited. Okay, so the game is James Bond 2, codename Robocop, also known as Super James Bond on the SNES, in North America and the Game Boy. And Super James Bond 2 in Europe is a 901 platform video game developed by the same British teams as the original game, and the second game in the James Bond series. Might jump from there to there. James Bond 2 was originally released for the Amiga, Atari ST, Sega Genesis in 1901 by 3 different publishers. It was next ported to Amiga AGA, Amiga CD32, Game Gear, Commodore 64, Master System, PC, Acorn Archimedes, Game Boy and the SNES. It was later redeveloped and released as a budget title for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and downloadable for the PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3 via PlayStation Network Store and Nintendo Switch. And what a game! It looks absolutely magnificent. I'm so impressed with this. But again, it's difficult to adapt to 2 buttons, but it looks really, really, really good. Scroll down the top right, and your energy down the bottom left, as well as your life, but no image of James Bond. But it's brilliant. Okay, boss battle. I have to admit, I'm really impressed with this. It looks so good. Really, really nice and smooth. It's very, very rare do you get the old sprite flicker. Probably a little bit on the score, but apart from that, cannot fault it. Really good. But again, I am trying to adapt to this 2-button thing, which is proving to be quite difficult. But again, like the Amiga version, you press down to add a little bit more power to your attacks, because in this game, you don't get any more weapons. There are vehicles you can use, but you can't pick up any additional weapons. But of course, in this game, your character can stretch. But again, really, really, really impressive. Amazing. What a game. So we go, mystery bonus, energy bonus, and score bonus. That is fantastic. Look at Joe for joy, I don't blame him. There we go, Wolfchild. Again, had no idea it was on the Master System. If we did final game, I do have it on the Amiga. It's absolutely superb. Let's see how it performs on the Master System. Okay, so the game is Wolfchild, playing for the absolute first time on the Master System. Again, looks really, really good, really impressed, but the game is far too quiet. Like Chuck Rock, you cannot have music and sound effects together, so again, I have to do some editing in the editing section, try and change that, but I'm really impressed by it. Wolfchild is a platform game released for the Amiga and Atari ST by Core Design in 1992 and was later released for SNES, Mega Drive Genesis, Sega CD and Master System as well as the Game Gear. And again, really impressed by it, but like Auto B, you can actually turn into a wolf on this one, but this time you're trying to stay there. You stay there by basically not taking damage. But when you are the wolf, you can fire projectiles. When you're human, you cannot. But the problem with this game is not only is it very, very quiet, but the rate of fire, 1 bullet is all you can do. So once it's fully hit off the screen or hits an enemy, they can fire again. So not a lot of bullets. But not just for me, but for the enemies themselves. They also can't fire very much. But we do have an energy bar here, as well as lives. The plot revolves around a biotechnological researcher, Cal Morrow, and his son Sol. When the former is kidnapped by an evil Chimera organisation, Sol uses one of his father's inventions to turn himself into a wolf humanoid being, similar to a werewolf that can be used capable to defeat Chimera. Which I've never actually done, never finished it on the Amiga before, but again, the rate of fire is an issue when enemies take more than 1 hit. But then, like I say, the enemies can't really fire all cylinders either, which is probably a good thing. Now you also pick up additional weapons on the way, which is located down the bottom left corner of the screen, but also break these crates. But anyway, some enemies do take quite a lot of hits. This is not the boss yet. It's like a midway boss, but this level's not very long. But don't be hit by a flame, don't be burnt to a crisp. But this weapon is okay. It sort of does a sort of an arched attack, but you can change it whenever you want. But take too many damages, you lose everything you've got. But you do have a health bar for your wolf as well as your human being form. And they can also shoot in the air and shoot while crouching. Right, we're not too far away from the next boss, but this boss always tends to get me. Which I always say gets to the point where I'm always confronting it in human being form, which is short range punches. But again, not a huge rate of fire for either of us, really. But I don't know what the best weapon is. But yeah, the Mega version, I've got to level 4. I think that's the furthest I've got. It's a really changing game, though. Right, I believe weapons are limited, which is why it's automatically changed. Just wish you could fire a little bit more often. I suppose if you're close, then yes, you probably can. Then so can he. There you go. Once again, I'm back to human being form. So I have to go for short range punches. But luckily, you can go behind him and just keep punching him repeatedly behind him. But again, I'm really impressed with these games on this Master System. Really, I've had a few issues with some of these games, but not many. But I'm still yet to find a game I don't like. They're all very good in their own ways, and they're all performing really well. But there we go. We go on to the forest. But yeah, really do recommend this cartridge. Brilliant. Okay, JMS, more on footage. But anyway, really amazing piece of kit. Really impressed. But anyway, so many more games still to play. Until next time, this is Jamie from Wallace Games. Please like, comment, share, push, subscribe to the channel. First round of twist to top of Wallace Games to find fairly easily. Please remember to get the bell icon and notify visitors at it. If you want to see videos, do retro projects, hit making and live streams every Friday night. You can find 8 o'clock on my week. See you on Diddy. Bye. See ya. Planets of the game. So what do? You go like that. You go like that. Like that. That carries on. Right, I like that. The game contains a number of features. It adopts the traditional... Okay, this is Pac-Mania, a nice Metroid Maze game that was developed and released by Namco's in... Released for Namco's. Oh. You can go quite some time until you actually... What's that one? You can go quite some distance without seeing any enemies. Whoa! At all. Good lord. Springs. Not a fan of springs in games, especially on platform ones. We've got a few issues here. A lot of issues here. When Ren and Stimpy find a pair of hooves, Ren tells Stimpy that Chef and Jack must have left him here after the last Jack... The others were Ren and Stimpy Show, Cat... Can't read my own writing, Jane, it's worrying. The Ren and Stimpy Show, Space Cadet Adventures. I have to admit, that looks really impressive. That is really good. Look at those graphics. And SNES was later redeveloped and released as a budget title for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, as downloadable for the PlayStation Portable and PlayStation 3 via PlayStation Network Store and PlayStation Switch. Oh, Jamie messed up right at the end! Also, Super James Bond 2 in Europe and 1991 platform video game was developed by the British teams of the...